It's great to have you all on board. It's another time with Tutor.io, the enthusiastic people. And in this tutorial, it happens to be in course, very last class. We are course BUS419. It's been a long one so far, and today we are going to close the chapter on this course as far as YouTube. So I welcome you all on board once again. And for those of us who are into the stream, here is where we walk you through the course BUS419. This is the fourth volume, if I'm not mistaken, and we have been taking this course now for the past 2 weeks. So we are ending the course today, and on Monday we are moving to the next course on Friday after we had our one-on-one discussion on the Telegram class. So basically, for those of us who have been becoming members of the Telegram class or one-on-one private class, all you need to do is send us a direct DM through our official website, which is coachio.com. When you get to coachio.com, in the bottom right hand corner, you find the button that says Talk to Coach IO. And when you click on that button, you click it to where you can send us the direct message either through WhatsApp, right, Facebook message, or even a direct phone call. We have to respond to in no time. So today, according to the thumbnail, we are taking our bearing from, I can see the comment section is boiling already. I think I'm going from political economy of international, all right, trade. And the course is BUS419. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel yet. Please ensure to subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel yet. And also ensure to turn on the notification bell. All right, boss. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our recent updates. I say, yeah, thank you very much for joining. Good evening, everyone. It's great to have you all on board. To say hi, hello. Let's know where you're streaming from. And today, like we have on the thumbnail, we are taking the political economy, international trade, and it happens to be the final class on YouTube, as we call it around with the course. Okay, so now, so far we discussed a lot about international trade. We discussed at length, all right, about international trade, international business, and in line with what we have been discussing so far, all right, we're going to take our bearing political economy, all right, of international trade. When we talk about the political economy of international trade, what are we simply looking at? What are we considering? All right, what are we talking about? All of that we will discuss in tonight's class. Okay, now, just as we have established that when it comes to international trade, it has a lot to do with the trade between one country and the other. All right, it's not a local trade, it's a trade that exists between one country and another. All right, it has benefits, so as it has its disadvantages. All right, going into a trade like this, every right, it's written, everything to be properly considered to be sure that yes, the trade will be beneficial. All right, to ensure the trade will be beneficial. So now the political economy, all right, political economy. Remember, we're talking about the political economy of international trade. So when we talk about political economy, what are we simply referring to? Political economy. When we talk about political economy, we are simply talking about the study, all right? The study of how political factors influence the functioning okay, of an economic system, such as international trading. How what we see as how factors, there are a lot of factors that affect, all right, a lot of factors that affect the functioning of the economy, all right, of a country. But when we talk about political economy now, there are continuing political factors that affect the economy of international trade. All right, the study of how the study fact, the study of how political factors affect what affect or influence affect or influence how political factors affect or influences the functioning or influences the what functioning of what we refer to affect or influences the functioning of an economic system. Economy, all right, an economic system such as international trading system, international trading system. All right, so this is the all and sundry of political economy. Okay, so we have that as that. Now, it says here that it describes how it describes how political, all right, how it has shaped, how it has shaped and continues to shape what we refer to international trading system. All right. So political economy, as we said, is the study of how these political actors, all right, political actors are those individuals that are known as politicians, all right, or anybody involved directly or indirectly with political activities and decisions in that country. All right, how political actors influences the functioning of an economic system, all right, such as the trading, international trading. Now, the aim here is to describe how political realities have shaped and will continue to shape, all right, this international trade system. Speaking of which, the government adopts various policies to what? Cross-border trade. Among these policies is trade policy. All right. Among these policies is a trade policy. Now, this trade policy concerns itself with instruments that government use to control the inflow and the outflow of goods within a country. So, in as much as international trade is okay, international trade is good. All right. There are still there should there exist a control, all right, a control on how to manage, put in check, all right, these international trading system, all right, and more among these uh, policy control which the government use is what we refer to as uh, trade policy, all right. Government uses trade policy put international trade in what? In check. To monitor the inflow and the outflow, all right, of international trade. So we have that as that. Okay. So we said it already that trade policy concerns itself with the instruments that governments use to control the inflow and the outflow of goods within the country. Now, the most common among these instruments, all right, so these trade policies, they are actually known as instruments, all right, and this instrument is what the government, political actors, uses to control the inflow and the outflow of international transactions, all right. So the very first one we have here is tariffs. All right. The first one we have here is tariffs. One among several instruments is called tariffs. Tariffs are the oldest form of trade policies for foreign products. All right. We have tariffs. They are said to be the oldest form of trade policy. All right. They are said to be the oldest form of trade policy, usually play on imports of goods, all right, imports of foreign goods. They fall under two categories. And these tariffs fall under these two categories. We have specific tariffs and we have ad valorem tariff. For specific tariff, they are levied as a fixed charge on each unit of an imported goods, while the ad valorem tariffs are levied as a proportion of the value of the imported goods. All right. So we have specific and ad valorem. This is on value. This is more units. So we have subsidiaries. That's the second one. Subsidiaries or subsidy is a government payment to domestic producers. Subsidies take many forms, such as grants, low interest loan, tax breaks, government equities, and the like. Now, by lowering production costs, subsidy helps domestic producers two ways: competing against imports and going export market. So subsidy is as well one instrument. Subsidy. So we have that. And we also have import quotas. Import quotas. So for import quotas, an import quota is a direct restriction. All right? A direct restriction on the quantity of some goods that may be imported into a country. Now, this restriction is usually enforced by using an import license, all right, to a group of individual or firms. Before you can send this product to our country, you must have a license to do that. All right. There must be a license given to you by, let's say you want to send your goods from US to Nigeria now. So before you do that, because government wants to reduce the level of people that import such goods into Nigeria, so there's going to be a license. And before you can get a license, the license is very expensive. So not can afford it, except multinational companies. All right, except multinational companies. So these companies will get the license and to limit the access of low or small or company that are just growing of um, that can import goods into other countries. So that is for import quotas. Okay, so we have that as that. Like I said, it's not going to be a long class, and we have been taking this course for quite a while. And basically, it's just the conclusive section